Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Stefanie Drysdale's weekly cybersecurity recap number 97. It's Friday, November 12th, 2021. Let's welcome Stefanie Drysdale, the VP of Cyber for Prescient.com. Ms. Stefanie, how are you doing?
I'm good. Thank you, Chuck. How are you? Welcome
Doing well.
back.
Yes, thank you. Sorry about my absence last week, but I'm back in the running, and I've been doing a couple of cyber shows since I saw you last. Boy, all I hear is things are not getting better. They just seem to be getting exponentially worse. Unfortunately, tell us what's going on, and I'm sure your show is no exception today. Tell us what's happening.
Well, I'd like to think I don't necessarily bring bad news. I just kind of create awareness so that we can kind of figure out how we're going to handle it. So,
Absolutely true. That's fair comment. Fair comment. So tell us what I need to be more aware of than ever before. How about that?
Excellent. Excellent. So this week, BGR.com shared an article titled TikTok Discovered This Hidden iPhone Feature and People Can't Believe It's Real. The basic gist of this trick is that you can set up your iPhone to always be in listening state. And from there, you can have the audio picked up by your iPhone and transmitted back to your AirPods. So note that this iPhone trick only works with regular AirPods. Power Beats, and AirPods Max. So if you happen to notice an unattended iPhone, iPad, or iPod Touch just lying around, you might want to be careful what you say. So ZDNet shared Coursera introduces level sets proficiency tests. So on Wednesday, Coursera introduced level sets, a new collection of proficiency tests to help learners and their employers better understand how prepared they are for specific roles. With initial launch of around 20 level sets for high demand skills, which include data analysis, cloud computing, machine learning, Python, and SQL, they start with a skills assessment test that takes just about 15 minutes. And based on those results, it's going to offer the learner customized content recommendations and allow the learners to skip content that they've already mastered while leaving out any content that's too advanced just yet. Level sets were developed to help the organizations get a better sense of the skills that existed within their workforces and to drive more accurate content recommendations. The unexpected benefit that came with the new tool is that it serves as a source of motivation. In a beta run with customers including Fidelity, IKEA, and Pfizer, Coursera found that learners were 3 times more likely to enroll in a recommended course within 24 hours after taking a level set. So additionally, the course completion rates improved by 66%. And employers can use the Coursera dashboard to review the overall skills distribution in their workforce based on those results. So it's a way for companies to have an objective assessment of the employee skill levels so they can drive internal mobility and upskill their teams. Definitely a step in the right direction to address the cyber skills shortage. So CISO says to get better cyber hygiene and stop bad practices. The Cybersecurity Infrastructure Security Agency, or CISA, published a plea to the organization's designated critical infrastructure or national critical function, NCF. CISA called for the organizations and government to up their security game and now. While the plea was pointed at government and private sector NCF entities, the message is applicable to the nation as a whole. Ransomware and supply chain attacks have forced enterprises to up their game, and the 3 major bad practices that they identified are considered low-hanging fruit as far as resolvability. So number 1 was end of life. Those are the software and devices that are no longer patched with security updates. 2 is the use of default or fixed passwords. So often when a new software or equipment is introduced into a system and the vendor's configuration is maintained, for example, the router comes with a user ID of admin and a password of password, and the expectation is that you will adjust it upon install. The second is the less obvious, called robotic process automation, or RPA, which is when a business process has been automated using hard-coded credentials. So 3 is single-use authentication. Of course, this is when there's no safety net or alert for verifying the identity or the permissions that seek access to various data and processes. So The CISO admonishment should be used by FSOs and CISOs to free up resources from the C-suite to ensure that those basic needs are covered. The short list of bad practices is also only the beginning, as CISO noted that they are now building a catalog of bad practices that are exceptionally risky. FSOs, in conjunction with their CISOs, should get ahead of the game and engage in their own cataloging of poor cyber hygiene within their instance and highlight the above admonishment from CISA to their employee base. It's not hyperbole when one says the weakest link is the individual or entity that does not engage in basic cyber hygiene. And another week, another breach. If you use Robinhood to trade, be sure to update your passwords and see if any additional PII was accessed or needs to be mitigated on your end. And banks are telling their customers to beware of scams through the payment app Zelle after users are being tricked into sending cash, with their banks refusing to get involved. Know who you're sending money to and triple check both inside and outside of the app to make sure that you're not being scammed. And Garrett Moreau shared cybersecurity experts warn of incredibly detailed fake TSA email scam ahead of the holiday travel season. This new scam is incredibly detailed. Instead of a rudimentary web page, it's an entire website with legitimate information, which can be deceiving to the recipient. These attacks tend to ramp up during the holidays when people are busy, distracted, and likely to be booking travel. So, to avoid falling victim, be sure to check the website origin. For example, an email from TSA should have a .gov rather than a .com address. Also, having only one payment option should also be a red flag to you. And we want to give a very special thank you for Veterans Day and Remembrance Day yesterday, as well as every other day, to those who serve and continue to serve, and for those who gave everything for the freedoms that we hold dear. So thank you. And that's what I have for you all this week. I hope everyone is well and adjusting to daylight savings time, except for you, Chuck. I know that you didn't have to do that this week.
That's right. We don't need no stinking daylight savings time in Arizona.
Well, everyone stay well, and I will look forward to seeing you all next Friday.